Look over here. I'm a pickle. I'm Pickle Rick. Hey, welcome everybody. This is I'm just doing a little bit of getting started in KSP career. And in the last stream, I did a how to start from the beginning and with nothing and get to the point where you can fly by uh, and orbit the moon. So in this video, we're going to extend that. We're going to get out to minmus and get around minmus and collect all of the science around the biomes around minmus. And then we'll come back and we'll use that science to get some more stuff. And then we'll uh, maybe start making a ship to land on minmus. It's easier to land on minmus, so we'll start on minmus and then finish at the moon. So let's see. Do I have anything in orbit? Okay, nothing. Nothing's up in orbit. Let's see what we got at mission control. We might have a rescue mission or something. I like doing the rescue missions to get free astronauts. Okay, science from around Kerbin. Transmitter recover science data from around Kerbin, so we'll definitely grab that. Explore Kerbin. We need to test our rendezvous capabilities. Oh, we'll do a rendezvous here today, so grab that. We got 2 rescues. I'll take both of those. We've got what have I got? I got 7 and I'm maxed out at 7. So I got all I can get here. Let's go to our active. Let's see what we got. We got these 2 rescues and we got the rendezvous. I wonder if the rescue will count as a rendezvous. Probably not. But this gets us 2 astronauts for free. So let's rendezvous with them first, so you see the process of rendezvous, and then we'll build a second rendezvous ship, and we'll actually rendezvous and dock. Okay, so that's our current game plan, and we want to transmit some science in this process. So let's come here. Not sure what science. I think I've grabbed almost all the science, but do we make it? Could make it unmanned. Oh, I got a rescue, so I need a capsule that can hold a person. And I'll put that on top of it so I can fly it without a pilot. We're not going to dock with anything in this, so we're just going to need a parachute. Science on here while I'm at it. I do need to try to get some science. I'm thinking I've got the goo, all the goo I can get, all the temperatures and all the pressures I can get in orbit, so those aren't going to do anything but add weight. I'm not going to need to transmit anything, so we might have to do something different. That's my dog giggling in the background. She's going through her early nightly zoomies. She's got a zoom. Oh, you zoom so good. You zoom real good. You're a good zoomer. Okay. And just so it looks complete, come down here and throw an antenna on it. Click antenna. We'll need a decoupler. Okay, decoupler. And for just an orbital thingy, I just like this 400. This is my standard go-to. I'm not really going to need RCS because I'm just going to get within 50 feet of him and EVA over, so there's no point in RCS. Or an orbital engine, we always go with the Terrier. That's the upper stage. Since we got this stuff, let's give ourselves some lighting. we'll put 4 of these up here. We'll make them white. Down here, leave them white. I'm gonna need some kind of electrical power, so we'll put, I don't need 4. Just put 2 batteries on. And we'll put some of the flat panels, we'll put 4 of those on. So that takes care of my power. Got communications. Okay, so I need to get this to orbit, so I'll need 3400 delta V, mostly an atmosphere. But I can steal a little bit out of this upper stage, so I have to totally get it in the bottom stage. I'm looking for that guy. Let's zoom out so we can see what I'm building here, and then I'll do one more of those guy, that guy, and then we'll stick a swivel on that because it gimbals. Book. And if we turn center of lift and center of gravity, center of lift is way on top of center of gravity, so what's going to happen is if this starts to tip over to the right, it's going to start to tip over the right some more, and it's going to tip over right some more until the center of lift is behind the center of gravity, and we're going to flip. That's why there's fins. So we'll come up here. I just like these basic fins. 4-way symmetry. And you see what happens? It moves this center of lift below the center of gravity. So now if this thing starts to tip to the right, the left side is going to be in the slipstream with these fins down here, and it's going to want to push it back to the left using this as a lever arm, right? It's going to pivot around this center of lift. So the farther we can get this back, the better, the more control we'll have, and the less tendency the ship will have to want to flip. But I can press the 2 key, and I can try to pull these down a little to squeeze every little inch out of that center of lift. Go back to that mode. Gadget, she's not only going through the zoomies, she's going through the going crazies. So let's see, thrust to weight is 1.49 on this bottom stage, so I could probably pull that apart there and stuff another 400 in between the two. Still got a ton of delta V, and even in, you know, an atmosphere down to 1:1, so that's good. Shift and lift this up a little bit. So we're going to get 2787, and I need 34 to get to orbit. So, and that's an atmosphere mostly. So what we're going to do is turn these off. We know what they're doing now. We're going to come in here. We're going to put some decouplers on. Decouplers. Just 2 will do. And let's see what happens if we stick a pair of thumpers on here. Okay, so with a pair of thumpers, we're getting 3773. That's definitely going to be enough to get us to orbit, so that's a good combo. What I like to do is put the decouplers up near the top of the thumpers, so when they decouple, they'll push them out from the top, and they'll want to get sucked underneath, so they don't run into each other on the, or run into fins and things on the way down. So to do that, we press the 2 key on the keyboard. You can select this guy, and you slide it down, and then you can select the whole decoupler, and you can pull the whole thing up until the engine bells are just below the core stage. So when this gets kicked out this direction, it'll swing down and underneath the ship. So let's put some there we go. That should get us all the way to space. Just in case I can collect some science, let's throw thermometer or a barometer and a thermometer on. cross our fingers, because we do have a contract to collect and bring back science from orbit of Kerbin, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. So this is going to be Rescue 1. Rescue 1. Save that. Check my staging. This first stage has got a lot of delta V, so or a lot of thrust to weight, so we'll come in here and we'll thrust limit it a little bit. Anything 133 to 140 is kind of where I shoot for. 138 is good. Now, these engines don't have any gimbaling capability, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the core stage and I'm going to pull them down into here. And I'm just not going to run it at full throttle, but just enough to let me control the pitch of the ship. And I can take this engine and pull it into there, and then now my staging is complete. So when these run out, I have to remember to drop those, drop these, because it'll. Trying to think about that right now. So when this is done, this will still be burning, so I don't want to go to that stage. So I'll have to manually remember to dump those boosters. So there we go. Now, right now, if I was to pitch over to the east, these would be on top of each other, but I don't like sending my astronauts up on their side, so I will do a 90-degree roll and then pitch over so that the astronaut's going up on his side, and these will end up east and west, so they'll fall off without crashing into the ship. You'll see. Okay, do I have? I do have launch clamps, so I might as well use them. Two-way symmetry is good. Put them there, create another stage below this so we can fire the engines and let them spool up and then launch. So let's save this. Pardon me. My oh my. I'm gonna have to get up and get a drink of water here pretty soon, but we'll get the launch started. So let's see, who are we going to rescue first? So I'm going to go into map mode and see who's where. Okay, I'm at the Cape, which is this the Cape? No, that's the desert. Where's the Cape? Cape's got to be somewhere here blacked out because of the sun. Cape's here. So this guy's going to get to me first, so we'll rescue him first. Make a note, he's at 82 kilometers. So I'm going to click him instead of my target. He's at 82, so I'm going to go up to 140 above him. Okay. So, U to turn on my lights, T to turn on SAS, Z to go to full throttle, but I know I don't want to for this flight, so I'm going to bring it back down. And then V to make sure I'm on the right camera, and 3, 2, 1, launch. Let the engine spool up and then launch. When I hit 25 meters per second, I'll do a roll. Start the roll program. Go. Work to the wheel. Okay. Turn straight up. Start the pitch. I'm going to start pitching to the east. Okay. Throttle down through maximum dynamic pressure, which is kind of where this light blue and medium blue meet. That, and accidentally decoupled from my, yes, I did, that was bad. Say, no, cancel, revert flight to launch. Okay, that was practice. Shake it off. I moved the main core engine down into the to the stage with the boosters and sort of forgot that I'd cut the power back. So I decoupled rather than just throttled up. So once again, UTCV321. 25 meters per second. We'll start to roll. Gadget, what in the hell are you doing? Lay down, girl. Okay, gonna throttle way back. Don't need to waste all that engine or engine thrust. I just need it to be able to pitch. Over. Okay, just powering through the high dynamic pressure. Not throttle. Now I can start to pitch over. I don't want to get too far ahead of my prograde vector because the ship will become unstable, and plus I'm losing efficiency due to what's called steering losses. I'm pointing away from my actual vector, but I'm also getting very high. I'm at 47, so I need to be way down. I can fix this by throttling back a bit, and then I'm looking at my time to apoapsis. I want to really keep that to about a minute, so I'm going to bring my power back all the way to here. Pitch over some more. I'm at 50, so I'm going to pitch pretty much to the horizon. This prograde vector will come down to me eventually. What I'm trying to do is get this velocity up to orbital velocity while I'm going horizontal. And around 50 seconds from the apoapsis. This way I'm spreading my orbit out. Spreading the orbit out on the sides rather than making it go higher. Right. If you burn too far away from the apoapsis, you just make it go higher and higher and higher and higher, and you get a big spike. What you really want to do is push your orbit out around the planet. Right? So I'll come back here. See, I'm catching up to my apoapsis a little bit too much, so I'm going to add more thrust. I want this time to get bigger, which it's doing. That's what I want, and I'm gonna pitch to prograde right now. Looking at this apoapsis, when it hits 80, I'm gonna stop burning. I'm gonna coast up to the apoapsis and then burn to circularize. See, I'm up to 40 something now, 50. This is really getting fast, so I'm gonna throttle way back to a third. Okay, and it's going to continue going up now because this is getting close to orbital. And now I gotta watch this. When it hits 80, I'm gonna stop burning. Right. Oh, I've run out of thrust. Stage. And there's 80 kilometers, so we'll hold. Now we want to, our target is at 86, so I said I want to get up to like 140, so I'm going to continue burning here. We're going to push this up to 140. There's 110, 20, 30, 40. Okay. The idea being I want to be in a higher orbit than my target, so when he catches up to me, I can reduce my orbit to rendezvous. You'll see. So what I'm going to do now is find my AP, which is way up here. I'm going to add a maneuver up there, and I'm going to burn. So the PE and the AP swap sides right there. So that's close to circular, it should be. Right, that's 139 by 145. Close enough. Come back a little, like there. There we go. 139 by 140. Very good. So now I'm going to turn to the maneuver node, which is the blue. Where'd it go? There it is. That blue on black is a little hard to see. I'm going to have to change that color at some point. But now I'm on the node. Now I can warp to the burn point. Did I go past the burn point? No, I'm coming up on it now. Getting confused because we got multiple ships up here. I can fix that by coming up here, and hiding all ships, and it'll only leave me and my supposedly, but it's not. Alright, well, I'm a liar. I'll do that. I gotta get him back, so. Alright, so we're 28 seconds from the burn. We're on the maneuver node, which is pretty much his prograde. 17 seconds. It's going to be a very quick burn, so I'm just going to manually burn it. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Burn. Okay, I can actually tweak that a little bit by getting out the marker again. And I can burn the last little bit. There we go. We'll call that good enough. Sync. Okay, so now our orbit is above our target's orbit. When you want to rendezvous, there's basically 3 steps. First, you want to get in the same plane. Since I've targeted this guy, you'll see somewhere along this orbit here. Apparently it dropped him as a target, so set as a target. Okay, so now you see we get these descending nodes and ascending nodes, and there'll be little dashed lines. Imagine 2 dinner plates going through one another. The line that's created at where the 2 plates intersect is called in orbital planes the line of nodes, and it goes from the descending node, which is where you're coming from below the target's orbit and going up through it, to the ascending node, where you're coming from above the target plane and going down through it. You can see that's happening here slightly. And the ascending node, where you're coming up through the target plane. So what we have to do is, this guy is negative, so I'm going to pin it like that. It dims and pins, and I'm going to turn normal, which is over here, and now I'm moving in this direction, but I'm pointing north. If I go back out of map mode, you'll see planet's dark, but I'm pointed north right now. Okay, and when I get there, I'm going to burn. I kind of pass through it. Okay, I'll keep burning a little bit more, and it'll eventually want to flip sides, just like when you're circularizing, and it'll go to 0. So now our planes I'm in the same plane as him. And the reason why that's important is the next thing I'm going to do is get to a phase angle where I know I can make a transfer to rendezvous with him. And I'm going to lower my orbit on the opposite side of where I am until it touches his orbit. And that means until it actually goes a little through his orbit. Now I'll get 2 points where I pass through his orbit, and you'll see these little peach and pink, or plum and peach markers pop up. And all I have to do is grab that whole maneuver node, swivel it around until I actually get as close as possible to him. And that's why it's important to be in the same plane. So let me demonstrate. He needs to be a little closer to me. Well, anywhere. if you put the ship in the lower orbit at 6 o'clock and you imagine a horizontal line, the optimum point to look for the transfer is where your ship is right here. So I can actually warp forward a little bit. Let him catch up to me some. But another way you can do it is anything within a 90 degrees angle. So if I drew it to the center and came out here, anywhere from here to here is a good place to start looking for a rendezvous. So I'm going to create a maneuver node up here, and I'm going to lower my orbit since I'm higher than him until I see... Dog is going absolutely nuts. Okay, see the close approach markers? I'm going through his orbit so that there's two of them, because I'm going to go from above him to below him, and then from below him to above him again. So I'm just going to make these a little bit more visible, and then I'm going to grab the whole maneuver node. I'm going to find out what my separation is. Right now it's not sure what that's telling me if I click the right thing, but anyway, let's grab the whole maneuver node and let's slide it. And as I slide it, you see those markers start to come together. And I clicked the wrong thing, that's why I was scratching my head what it was showing me. Where are the markers? There they are. So if I click one, boy, you are cruising for a bruising, Gadget. So it now says my separation is 90, 70, 50, 40. See, it's getting closer and closer. And there it is. Now I'm at that point. I've pulled the two markers on top of each other, and I'm going to be 300 meters away from them, which is perfect. So now I have to make that burn. So first, turn to the maneuver node, wherever that's hidden at. Right there. Right. There we go. Warp to the maneuver node. Or warp to the burn point. I'm already pointed at the maneuver node. Okay, 57 seconds. I'm just gonna speed time up here a little bit. 10 seconds from the burn. 4, 3, 2, 1. So I can stop the burn and recenter and then finish the burn. Right? That should be pretty close. So if I close this, I should now see that I will be 400 meters away from him when I get to this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to warp. My dog is got the zoomies. So I'm going to warp to here. And this should turn from orbit to target. So now I'm pointing at I'm in a mode where it's giving me the relative velocity to my target. And I can turn retrograde to my target, and it will turn over to the target's retrograde marker. And when I come out to the map mode, I should be able to see it. Since I'm pointing retrograde at it, it should be right off of my engine belt, which you can see it is. Right down there. And I'm 14 kilometers away right now, so I'm gonna warp to get a little closer. Right, and I want to keep my closure speed about 1/100th of my distance, so right now I can afford to bring that down a little bit. we go. So the collision rate's about 1/100th of 35 kilometers. I can warp forward a little bit more until I get within 2 kilometers. That's the physics distance. Right there, there'll be a little stutter as it switches to physics distance. Once again, I'll slow down until I'm closer to going at him at 2. Technically, I should be at 15 right now, but we're doing okay. Now, if you notice, there's the retrograde marker, and there's this orange-colored marker. I had to change the colors because I'm colorblind. I could never see the pink one. So I'm going to go, and when I'm in retrograde mode, you'll notice if I burn, this is my bearing indicator, it'll push my retrograde marker away from my bearing marker on top of his retrograde marker. So now I'm actually flying straight towards him. I bring my bearing indicator back over there. I'm now pointed at him and flying directly at him. And I can just hold this attitude right now until I get within 50 meters of him, and then kill my velocity, bring it down to 0, and we'll be at station holding. And this is the first phase in actually docking. First you get to station holding, and then you align your docking ports, and then you actually dock. So we're just rescuing a Kerbal here, but we use the same technique in the future to do. She's a Pomeranian. I had a Pomeranian for 18 years, and she passed away 2 years ago, and I wasn't going to get another dog, but I was kind of lonely, so I got this one. Okay, let's get our velocities down to 0. Okay, 40 meters away from me, that's close enough to transfer, so there we go. We're at station keeping. And if you notice, once you match velocities with your target, you're also in its orbit. Because your orbit determines your velocity. So once you're moving the same speed as your target, you're going to be in your target's orbit, and we're going to be 39 meters apart. It might drift a little bit because you never can get to exactly 0, but it's close enough. So now if I switch over to my target, I can, first thing I like to do is rename the vessel to junk, so I don't accidentally get it confused with something that has to be saved in the future. I'm going to turn it into debris. Okay, I'm going to save that. Then I'm going to EVA the pilot. Turn on his lights. Space to let go, R to turn on his retro pack, and then glance around. Where's my ship? Where is the ship? Is that it? That's it. Okay, so now fly over to the rescue ship. Who have I got here? I've got Ginner Kerman. Okay. I'm on the back side, am I? I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's go this way. Oops. Back up. Down. Don't go crazy on me. Oh, there's the top. There's the door. The hatch, I'm sorry. Tap up. W for forward. Tap up a little bit so I don't go down. Right. Control to come down. And as soon as I hit that, I can hit F to grab and V to board. Oh, it put a pilot in on me. Okay, that was a sigh of frustration. Hi there, Pickerick. How's it going? I still have to watch your video and come to you. Because I have been busy at work. Oh, no problem. Oh, that's NX Miller. No problem at all, sir. It got kind of long, and I did actually miscalculate the Delta V, so I made an addendum video where I changed the ship around. The whole issue was you had that skipper engine, and it just wasn't enough for that rocket, so we had to add additional engines radially on it to get it to have enough Delta V. I'm sure you probably have the mainsail by now, which would alleviate the need for all of the dancing around with the ship. But hopefully you'll find it interesting. Thanks for dropping by. Okay, well, this is something that happens in Kerbal Engineer in Kerbal Space Program. It always wants to fill an empty capsule, and it's a pet peeve with me. What does it say? Not oh, gotcha. It always wants to fill an empty seat, and so you'll empty the seat, which I did. I put the probe control on here, and I emptied the seat, and then I went to launch, and it fills the seat, and then you get all the way up to where you need to be, and you don't have a seat to put anybody, so you got to revert the whole flight again. And I've made recommendations to the devs that they should never, ever, ever, on any circumstances, ever stick a pilot in a ship. If I want a pilot in a ship or a crew member on a ship, I'll put it there. Don't put it there for me. But it's fallen on deaf ears, and here we are, all of this time. What have we got here? 37 minutes, and we've accomplished nothing. We have to start all over again. Thank you, devs. So all I can do here is revert to vehicle assembly and take him out of the ship. I'm half tempted to space him, take him out of the ship, just leave him in space. But I'm in an early game and I need all the crew I can get. So here, get out of my ship, save the ship, launch again, all of that rendezvous. Well, look at it on the bright side. We get to go through the whole process of matching planes and rendezvousing again. So we'll drive home the idea of rendezvousing. And once you get rendezvousing down, docking is a piece of cake. Once you can get near something and get to the same velocity as it, zero relative velocity, docking is trivial. Okay, so make sure no pilot is in the ship. Thank you. View TZV. We just need the engine for some control, so we're going to bring it down. 3, 2, 1, go to space. There we go. Now, once again, you don't have to do this. A lot of people just use the D key and pitch over to the east. I don't like sending my astronauts on their sides, so I'll do a 90-degree roll. You'll often see this done actually on actual launches. And then start pitching to the east. However, in real life, when they do this, they usually pitch over with the pilot's heads down. Right now, my pilot's going to be up. Take a little more throttle out. Now that I'm pitching the right way, I don't need as much throttle. I like to try to be about 10,000 kilometers at 60 degrees, but with these big boosters, it's hard to do that. But they're almost about to go away. And there they go. Bring the throttle up all the way, and then I'm going to probe our turn to 60, because I'm already over 10K here. And I like to be about 20K when I get to 45 degrees. So I'll just keep pitching over here. And I click on this bottom button here, and now I can see my apoapsis and my time to apoapsis, which will become important very soon. As soon as I get about 50 seconds from the apoapsis, I'm going to start throttling down. So my apo is at 30. I'm gonna be at about 30 degrees here. It's not a formula or anything. It just works out that at 30 degrees is about right. Okay, see I'm at 53 seconds, so I'm at 40 kilometers now, so I'm going to pitch down some more. And I'm going to throttle back to about there. Keep pitching down. When I'm at 50, I can pitch down to about 10 degrees above the horizon down here. Right? And you can see I'm holding 53 seconds from my apoapsis. And the reason that's important is my apoapsis is not going, it's going up, but not really fast, and I'm pushing the sides out because that's what you really want. You want to, and so I'm going to go back to this view again because we're getting close to the burn out of that. Now that I'm lined with my, I just have a probe core, so I don't have the ability to do point prograde, so I've got to do this whole thing manually here. 52 seconds away, so I'm starting to close in on it a little bit. If I start to close in too much, I can add thrust, but I'm actually pulling away, so I'm going to go down to about a quarter thrust. Now there's a point where I can't really keep it right at me, and that's because once I get to 2400 meters per second, I'm close to orbital velocity, so I can't really do much about it. So I'm just looking here now. When my apoapsis gets to 80K, I'll stop burning, and you'll see I'll be close to 2300 meters per second when I reach that point. I recently had some eye issues, and I'm struggling to see, and in KSP2 it's even worse. There we go. 70, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and you see there I am at 2251, so close to 100 meters per second. Now the beauty of doing this the way I did it is you'll notice now that my AP is way up here, but look how far I've pushed out the sides of my orbit. So to actually circularize this orbit, if I was to put a maneuver node here and go prograde until the AP and the PE swap sides, like there, right? Right? Took only 91 delta V to circularize my orbit. And my periapsis is, it's showing me my periapsis after I circularize, but my periapsis is such that now if I go back to here, I can either use this little bit that's left in this stage, or I can decouple it, which I'm going to do. Okay, and now I'm just going to use this guy. And since this is a rescue, I just remembered that. I really want to point to prograde, and my target's at 80, and I want to make my apoapsis 140, so I'm just going to burn again here. And we'll push this up to 140. I don't need this. Okay, we'll call it 148. I want to get my orbit above the guy that I'm rescuing. And so now I'll circularize up here by making a maneuver node there. And we'll burn until they flip sides. Right there, they want to switch. 147 by 149, that's fine. So now to make the burn, we'll look for the that blue marker is called the maneuver node. So if I point at the maneuver node and now I warp to that point, it'll put me about a minute in front of the burn, and then I can make that burn. and that'll get me in a concentric orbit. And then the next step is we're going to make our orbital planes the same, so that all the way around my orbit, his plane is the same as mine. You'll see why that's important in a moment. It's not warping to target. There it is. Now it is. It does not always obey me. Okay. And it looks like this is the guy I'm going to rendezvous with because he's already at the right phase angle. I'll show you how to calculate that phase angle as well. So I'm going to speed time up here to get us a little closer. 10 seconds from the burn. Okay, looks like that maneuver node's creeped up a little bit. 5 seconds to the burn. 3, 2, 1, burn. Okay, catch up to the maneuver node wherever it went, right there. Finish the burn. Close enough. All right, so now you can see we're kind of concentric with our target. We're going to make him our target. And as soon as I do that, you see this, these two additional nodes pop up, the ascending node and the descending node. And that's like, imagine two dinner plates going through each other. The line that they make where they go through each other is called, in orbital mechanics, the line of nodes. And at one point you're going from above his orbit to below, which is the descending, and on the other side you're going from below to above, which is the ascending. So what I want to do here is make a maneuver node here, and I want to burn, since it's negative, I'll right click to pin it. It goes dim there, right? And now if I pull this up, you'll see it will want to switch sides, just like when you're circularizing, and it will turn. Where'd the other one go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There it is. To 0.0. So now our planes are aligned. So once again, it's like any other burn. We turn over to the maneuver node, which is going to be normal. That's that purple triangle. And if you look, it means I'm facing, since I'm in an equatorial orbit, I'm facing north. So I'm normal to the direction that I'm moving. Okay. Oh, and I've missed the burn start point, but that's okay. We can fix it. We just keep an eye on this. Okay, let's see where we ended up. We ended up at 0. Okay, it started late, but still worked out. Okay, so now, if you put the ship in the lower orbit at the 6 o'clock position, you imagine a horizontal line going across. That's the point where you want to start looking for your rendezvous. In fact, it can be anywhere, if you go to the center and out to here, anywhere from 90 degrees to this point right here, right, is where you can start looking for your rendezvous. And what I mean by looking for your rendezvous is we'll create a maneuver node, and I'm going to lower my orbit till it touches and goes through his. What's going on here? There it is. When it went through his orbit, you'll see we get two sets of close approach markers, the purple ones and the peach ones. And that means because I'm going from above his orbit, I'm going below it, and then I come back above it again at 2 points. So there's two possible positions that we can actually meet each other. So if I grab the whole maneuver node and I start to swivel it, or drag it along, you'll see that those close approach markers start getting closer and closer, and I can pin that one. And once again, get over here and pick the node, the maneuver node, and keep swiveling it. So it was 9, 8, 6, 4, 3, there it is, 600. So at that point, if I make this burn at this point, we'll be 600 meters away from each other. So let's make that burn. I can get that right down to 0, but anything under 2 kilometers is good. So I'm at the node now, so warp to the node to burn. Okay, 50 seconds away from the burn. Warp time a little bit to get us to 10 seconds. Okay. Just going to do this manually. 7 seconds from the burn. And burn. Okay, that should be pretty close. Let's see where we ended up. Okay, so we ended up a little bit too far still. We're 1.8 kilometers. So I'm going to stay pointing prograde and just tap and see if it comes down. And it is. 3, 2, 1. Da, 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 da. There we go. 500 kilometers when we meet at that point. So now you can see my orbit is still not the same as his. I'm going to warp to here, and eventually I'm going to match velocities with his orbit. When I do that, our orbits will be the same. So I'm going to get down to there. Now you also notice the nav ball went from orbit to target. So I'm now, and this velocity is now my relative velocity to the target. So by turning retrograde, I'm going to be, you can see the target's retrograde marker is orange, and I'm right on top of it right now. And if I come out here and I look off of my engine bell, because I'm retrograde to him, you can see the target's right there below me. So I'm gonna, and this is the speed that we're closing at. So I'm gonna warp in a little closer here. Warp in a little closer here. I burned for some bizarre reason for a second. When you get to 2 kilometers, you're at the physics range, and you'll notice now that I'm diverging off of his marker. So if I burn, my my retrograde marker will get pushed away from my bearing indicator. See how I'm pushing it on top of his? So now I'm moving more towards him. And you want your closure rate to be about 1/100th of your distance, so I'm way too fast now. So I'm going to bring that back down to about 14 meters per second, 1/100th of 1400. Okay, and I'm pretty much staying right on top of him here. And I can pretty much hold this position now until I get about 50 meters from him, and then I'll reduce this closure velocity to 0, and we'll be at station holding, which is essentially rendezvous. We've rendezvoused. And you do this as the first part of a rendezvous and docking. So I'm going to bring this down to about 5 or 8. I've done this a zillion times, so I can know that I can zoom in really fast and then brake at the last minute. But you can always hit the warp button. We're diverging a little bit again, but I think we'll get to within 50 meters on this trajectory. Okay, need to reduce my velocity again, so get on top of that. Okay, so it does look like we're going to be a little farther away than I want to be, so I'm going to point towards him. That's the circular orange thing. When you burn towards your target, it pulls your prograde marker towards your bearing indicator, like that. And get back on this side, and I'm going to slow down and push that away from me. Okay, I'm getting in a mode where I'm circling around him now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and I'm just going to stop the game. And I'll bring this down to 0. Okay, so now I'm going to find him again. Where is he? There he is. So he's 72 meters away. So I'm going to point at him. That's the circle. Right there. Then I'm going to thrust towards him. You see, I immediately pulled my prograde marker to my bearing indicator, all on top of each other. So I'm now moving towards them at 1 meter per second. Bringing that up a little faster. Now I can turn retrograde. Bring that down to 0. There we go. We are at station holding. I've matched his orbit, because your orbit is what determines your speed. And I'm at station holding 2 meters away from him. So can't get closer than that really, right? So let's do this. Let's switch over to the target by hitting the bracket key. Do what I did the last time. Click the target, go to command, rename the ship to junk, change it to debris so you don't mistake it for something in the future that needs to be rescued. Actually, EVing this close was showing off, but it's dangerous because when he lets go of the ship, he's going to push it, and it could actually push into your ship and cause problems. So there we go. EVA. Turn on its light. We'll let go. Hit R to turn on his retro packet. Just like I said, it's pushing his ship into mine. It's okay though. And just float up until I see the F up here. So now I can grab the ship. And then, so we've rescued a Kerbal. Okay, so now I'm going to turn retrograde. Come back and take this out of orbit later on. First I have to come out of target mode, go back into orbit mode so I can see retrograde, which is right there. Come back here, we're going to find the KSC. Where are you, KSC? Sometimes I find it easier to find it by going behind the planet. So that's the desert, so the KSC should be here. So, here until I can see it. And scrub around here. There it is. There's the island. So I want to warp to here. It's wanting to add a maneuver node for some reason. I lost the... That's the island, so that's the KSC. I want to go about 90 degrees from the KSC and warp to there. Ooh! That's more work than it needed to be. This is a mod that I don't have the buildings elevated enough to, and because they chose not to put a close button on it, I can't even go to the mod itself and close it. Oh, I can. Oh, what do you know? I've been sitting there with that on my screen all this time. All right, so back to retrograde. Okay, now retrograde. And I want to land out somewhere in front of the KSC. So that's right there. So I'm going to bring me in right about here. So Z. And I'm shooting for out here because the atmosphere is going to slow me down. Lost it. There it is. Let's get a little bit. Okay, that's good enough. I don't want to overdo it. Let's come back out to the ship. Now I want to decouple, but I don't want to change that altitude that I just set. So if I turn normal before I eject the service stage, it's going to try to change my inclination, which is very hard to do. So it will make very little change to my orbit. Plus, it has the added advantage that I won't accidentally run into the service stage. So I'm going to separate there and then turn back to retrograde. Now, because of the shape of the ship, it will automatically align itself and keep it facing backwards, but I've got to get into the atmosphere before that happens, so I'm going to warp. As soon as I get below 70K, you can't warp any faster than 4. And once I get down to about 40 kilometers, there's enough atmosphere to start causing my ship to point into the airflow. So I can turn off SAS. And at about 1.1, 1100 meters per second, the heating will drop off. And when I'm at about 3,000 meters, which is about 10,000 feet, is when I deploy my chute. It's only do that because I watched Apollo do that forever. So 10,000 is high enough to be safe, and low enough that you don't have to sit there dangling under the chute for 20 minutes getting to the water. I've got a mod that adds atmospheric effects, including rain and thunder, so you can hear the thunder going off there in the background. $8,000 meters. 7. 6. 4. 3, and I'll pop the chute. And we've just added a Kerbal to our Kerbal core. What do we add? An engineer. Good. Engineers and scientists are really what you want. Once you get probe controls, like I just demonstrated here, pilots are almost obsolete. Warp down to the water. Recover. And then I got one more guy to rescue, and then we can start working on getting to flying in a polar orbit over minmus, and we'll get a lot of science in EVAs, and then we'll have enough science to get us to start being able to build a lander. And I think we'll start the landings on minmus and then move to moon once we've completed minmus. So recover our launch clamps. Where are we at? 305 science. Anything worth upgrading? That's very expensive. That's very expensive. All of these are going to be too expensive or not worth it. It's not worth it just to get unlimited number of Kerbals in there, because we're going to rescue all our Kerbals. Might be worth, let's see, what's the lot, 282, just to be able to get an infinite number of contracts, which will save our money. Okay, got another rescue, so I might as well grab it. Oh, that's active, available. Explore the moon. Stable orbit. So this is just get orbit of the moon, which we've actually already done, but hey, why not? We're gonna do it again. It's easy. Moonstone back. Eventually we're gonna land some, and that never expires, so we'll just do that. And that looks good. And now we've got 7 contracts again. So let's rescue our other guy. We can use the same ship. Is there anybody still with me? Not sure. Okay. Make sure it didn't put somebody in it, which it didn't. Thank you. See, my astronaut list is getting longer. So launch. Oh, that sucks. I know that feeling. Thanks for popping in, actually. I hope you enjoyed it. It's pretty much a slow stream. I just do this for like helping people out that are just starting if they want to watch the stream to get some ideas on how to do things. So, okay, so let's do that. U, T, Z, V. You don't need all that thrust on this. I'm just using it so I can control a little bit. 3, 2, 1, space. Start the roll. And the roll. Start pitching to the east. Take advantage of the planet's rotation. Once I know I'm going east, I'm going to throttle back even more. Save fuel in my core stage. Keep pitching over. The idea is to be at 10K. It's at 60 degrees here. But with those boosters, I don't have much choice but to just let them burn out. Okay, off the boosters, full throttle. Come over to 60. Okay, I want to be at 45. Now I'm putting my attention on my time to apoapsis, because that's going to cause me to slow down, and also I'm looking when I'm at 30 here to be around 30. Just kind of following the prograde vector down is what I'm doing here at this point. So 54, I'm going to bring back my power. Keep following this down. Time to apoapsis is staying around 57, which is good. Whoopsie, wrong way. Okay, 59. It's pushing it away more, so I'm going to bring my throttle back down even more. I'm just going to leave it there at a quarter from here on in. This will start to climb, but it'll climb back up again shortly. Three. If it does start to come down too much, I'll add a little thrust. We'll hang out here and see what it does for a minute. I don't like it's getting low. I'm gonna give me a little more thrust here until that goes up again. Okay. I'm gonna pitch down to prograde. When this starts to get close to 2300 or 2250, it'll start to accelerate and my apoapsis going up. Okay, we're gonna bring it back down to a little below a third. Keep it on the horizon. Keep watching my apoapsis, and so you'll see as this starts getting closer to orbital speed, this will start accelerating up towards 80. So apoapsis is above the atmosphere now. 1900. Pitch back down to make sure to stay on prograde. And once again, I think the target is in an 80-kilometer orbit again, so I'm just going to go past 80. I'm going to go up to 140 again, so I'm above him. I should have looked where he was to time my launch. That's okay. We have warp. You know, when the space shuttle, or when they try to rendezvous with the ISS, it takes 8 minutes to get to orbit, but it takes 3 days to set up the phase angle to actually rendezvous. Okay, 100, 110. Okay, 140 kilometer orbit. Okay, so here's our target. Is that this is Hulk, and this has got to be Rescue 1, and somewhere up here has got to be Junk. Maybe we'll target him. Set his target, and I'll circularize up here. A lot of this gets easier once you get more experienced pilots, because you get more controls over here. You'll get probes that are better too. So I'm going to do this until the AP and the PE swap. Right there. (141), 142, that's good enough. Turn to the maneuver node. Going opposite the direction of the arrow, but now the arrow's pointing me to the maneuver node, but I got to change that blue color. I'm working with color blindness, and I've got the maneuver nodes, the target maneuver nodes worked out, but this maneuver node's still hard for me to see. It's okay, I just overcooked the torque here to the turn. I don't have a strong reaction wheel on this ship. Okay. There, I'm on a maneuver node, so now I can warp to it, to the burn. And you see my bearing indicator will stay on top of the maneuver node. Okay, a minute away from the burn, so I'll just warp 1 notch to get us closer. Okay, 10 seconds to the burn, 4-second burn. 78 delta V. Am I bringing the whole thing with me? I don't need that whole thing. Whoops, I'm past the burn, start of the burn, so. Okay, let's close that. See how close we got. 141 by 142. Pretty close to what we were shooting for, so that's good. Now the next thing I have to do is get in the same plane as the ship I want to rendezvous with, and we've been through this in the last one. So in this case, I'm 2 degrees above him, so I want to make a maneuver node, and I'm going to click to pin it so I can see the 2. Oh, pin it, please. Now if I burn anti-normal, it will align our orbit, so it's going to be a very, very small burn. So in fact, it's such a small burn, what I really can do is just turn over to the anti-normal. No, I can get rid of this completely. Anti-normal is the purple triangle with the little tick marks coming out of the sides, and I can why is that still there? Get rid of it. Go away. and when I get to here, right, I can warp to this point. And then just watch and make a anti-normal burn. There we go. Now our planes are matched. So now the next step is to get to the right phase angle to look for where I can start to try to make a rendezvous. And you do that by putting the ship you're trying to rendezvous with at 6 o'clock, and imagine a horizontal line going across here. I want to be somewhere out here. The other way you can do it is come up here and draw like a 90-degree angle, and you want to be somewhere in this arc. So what I can do is he's in a lower orbit, so if I warp, he'll catch up to me. Here I am, rescue 1. And I keep him at 6 o'clock. Slowly I'm getting to be level with him. So right there, I'm gonna stop warping. I'm above him a little bit, but I'm inside of that 90-degree arc. So I'm gonna make a maneuver node out here. And then I'm gonna take that maneuver node, I'm gonna zoom out, and as I burn retrograde to reduce my orbit until it goes through his, as soon as I pass through his, I'm going through his from above, and I have a close approach marker here. And then I come back through it again from below, and I have a close approach marker here. So now, all I have to do is grab the entire maneuver node, like this, and if I drag it, you'll see the peach markers are starting to come together. And I can see my separation if I click on this one, it turns dim, I've pinned it. So now I can just keep turning this and looking to see how it affects my separation. So what am I? I'm at 87 kilometers there. 70, 30. Did I just go through him? No. Get closer, getting closer. I went through. So 9, 6, 4, 3. There we go. I actually, for an instance, had 1. There we go. 300 meters away. That's fine. Anything a kilometer is fine. So now we make this burn. So we turn to the maneuver node. The arrow is pointing us to it. Once we're on the maneuver node, we warp to the burn point. Okay, I'm gonna fix it so that we're on the maneuver node, which happens to be retrograde. Warp to 10 seconds. Okay, 10 seconds from the burn. 5 seconds. Starting to come off the okay, my maneuver node's going away from me, so I'm chasing it. Okay, should be close enough. Let's see where we ended up. Okay, 2 kilometers separation. So I'm going to go up to the retrograde again because I didn't quite get where I want. But if I burn very slowly, you'll see it'll start coming down. 2, 1, there we go. 300 meters from the ship at closest approach. So let's warp to here. This will change to target. I'm going to turn to target retrograde. Right there. Flip out of map mode, and he should be right off my tail. There he is. Warp time to let him catch up a little bit. Getting closer and closer to them. At about 3K, I'm gonna stop. I don't want to be going at him any more than a 1/100th of our distance, so bring that down, way down. See, I burned max throttle. Now we're moving at each other at 16 meters per second, which is still too fast. There we go. Now we're actually going a little too slow towards each other. So I'll flip over to this side. And when I burn towards them, you'll see it'll pull my prograde marker towards mine. Okay, back to retrograde. And I push my retrograde marker away from my bearing indicator when I burn on retrograde. See, I pushed it on top of him again. So now I'm going right towards him again. When we get to 50 meters apart, I'll reduce our velocity to 0, and we'll be at station holding, and we will have rendezvoused. So that's 2 examples of rendezvousing. I might have to take a short break after this. My dog needs something to eat. But I'll come back on and we'll continue with getting to an orbit around minmus. So I can warp us again to get closer faster. Okay, we'll do our closure rate. 2 meters per second. Stay on top of that retrograde marker. I'll get us about 30 meters apart, and then we'll do the transfer. There we go. Station holding 20 meters apart. 29 meters apart. I'm going to point the ship towards him there, the hatch. I'm going to switch over to him. It's another ship that I can actually rename, so I will do so. Junk. Make it debris. Okay. U to turn on his headlight, space to let go, R to turn on his jetpack. And then try to find me. Right over there. So start burning there. Go up some. For the F to grab, board, and we've rescued another. What did we get? We got another engineer. That's always good. Okay, let's get him down to the ground, and then I'm going to take a short break, and I'm going to come back. Oh, come out of target. There we go. Always helps. Where did retrograde go? There's retrograde. Let's find the KSC. We've already passed it, so let's work to here. See, by being able to make that ship debris, you see it's no longer in orbit because I have all debris turned off. Unfortunately, some ships you can't do that to, and they're always stuck in orbit. You can't even rename them, which I wish they would fix. Okay, so let's actually warp to here. Turn retrograde. Can't turn while warping. Now I can. Turn retrograde. And since it's here, this is water. So I'll go to that point right there. Go back out. Turn normal or anti-normal, doesn't really matter. Couple. Turn back to retrograde. Warp time till we hit 70 kilometers. Oh, right there. Get back on retrograde. Warp time. Once we get below 50K, I'll turn off SAS, and the ship's shape should keep us oriented backwards. Turn off SAS. See, now the ship's aerodynamics will keep us facing backwards. Once we get to about 1100 meters per second, the atmospheric effects will fall off. $16, $15. And there you can see it's starting to drop off rapidly. I usually wait until about 3K to pop the chutes. That's about 10,000 feet. I can work to that. You can always switch it to land, even if you're over water. That makes sure you know you're exactly how high you are above whatever you're going to hit. And at 3,000, I'll pop the chute. And we got ourselves another astronaut. And with that, I'm going to go to a little standby here and feed my dog, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. Stand by. Go. Got another astronaut. Okay, hang tight, guys. I'll be back in a little bit, 5-10 minutes. Okay, we're back. Let me put my headset on here. There we go. Next. Collect our launch clamps. Just make one quick check of the. We won't do this rescue now, but we'll grab it because we always like an opportunity to get another thing. Position the satellites. I don't need to do those right now. So we're back to what the original game plan was. Let's make a ship that can go to minmus and orbit minmus in a polar orbit, so we can collect EVA science over all the biomes. And to do that, it's quite easy because we can use the same ship we used for the moon one. Load. Dink. There we go. This got us to the moon. Something very similar is going to get us to minmus. So let's start from the top. We always do. Oh. Okay, so to get to minmus, we need 930 to get from orbit to minmus, and then we need another 180 to capture. So call that 200. Call it 1,000, 1,200. And then to get back to Kerbin, since we're just going to orbit and return, we're going to need another 200 to get back. So about 1,400. So anything over 1,400 would be plenty. And oh, gee whiz, look, we got 2,300. So we don't have to do anything to the ship. But we could add, and since it always blows up anyway, I'm going to put it after the heat shield. We'll just EVA to get the science out of it. And we're going to put Science Junior on. Book, and we're going to put 2 of these on. Go to 2-way. We'll get a high and a low goo reading, and then going out we'll get a temperature. We'll periodically EVA to pull the science out of these. I can't reset the goo pod or the Science Junior because you need a scientist for that, and I don't want to make this a probe mission, because I need a scientist to come out and EVA periodically. So boom. Make sure there's a heat shield there. Yes, there is. And this goes on like that, and then this goes on like that. And just got to remember to come out and get the science out of it. I'm going to move these to there like that, but I'm going to make them 4-way. Okay. Hydrate. Iced tea. Okay. So now we got science on here. Might as well spruce it up a little bit, put some lights on it. These, the dome lights, and we'll stick 4 there, and we'll make them white. And we'll grab and we'll put 4 down here and make them white. And oh hell, why not? We'll make 2-way. Grab 2 here. Make them white. Okay. Now we'll put the boost stage on, and we'll make sure something's not right here. Why is it telling me stage 4 only has 1,000 something? Oh, when I added this thing, it weighs a frickin' ton. So let's see. I might have to, for this, because of the science, I might have to take that off. My delta V is, or my thrust to weight is still 2 to 1 just with those. But if I put these on here, like that, first of all, they're not centered. If I put them on like, is that centered? Apparently it is. So these are all going off at once. Can I take a pair out? That's still enough thrust. And that plus that is 3,400. So that's enough delta V to get us to orbit. I can see that this one needs to go up a little bit. Now it's too high. Turn off snapping. Right about there. Now I want to make sure that, since I'm going to do a 90-degree roll, I want to make sure these guys fall off first. I want these guys to fall off first. Right. So these guys will fire. Actually, I can put this all the way down in here and get rid of that. So these guys will fire, those guys will fall off, then these guys will fall off, then this engine will finish burning, and then we should be in orbit. We should have enough delta V to get all the way over to minmus. So this is going to be our first test flight. I'm going to put launch clamps on, a pair of them on, put snapping back on, put a pair like that. It's off the ground, which is fine. I want to fire the engines, and then release the launch clamps, give the engines time to spool up. And let's see, let's make sure we got a pilot. Dude, it's Jeb. Why does Jeb always get that fun? Let's see. Engineer. Apparently I got another pilot floating around in space somewhere. I called Val. I don't know where she's off to. So I guess we'll have to go there. Jeb. This will get him a second star, by the way, hopefully, because we're going out to minmus. Okay, so that's everything. Let's call this minmus 1. Minmus 1. Save it and launch. Time to hydrate. Good stuff. SAS Z. Come back down. I don't need that. Ooh, I didn't thrust limit. We'll see what it does. It's a flaming meteor by the top of the launch clamps. We'll fix it. And then V to make sure we're in the right camera mode. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Space. Oh, it's even worse than I thought. Escape. Alert flight. Vehicle assembly. So it's going to start with these, and it says it's got 1.41 thrust away. So I'm not sure what's its deal is. Alright, let's give it more. Pump it up. Now it's got 1.73. Oh, but that's assuming full throttle with the engine. I see what's going on. Okay. I got it. Save it. Launch it. We'll still do this. I'll just put more. I need to put more of the main engine into the burn to get us off the pad. And this might be crazy because this might burn the engine out before the second pair of boosters. And if it does, we just want to revert. But we'll find out. throttle back. Rotate. Roll pull program complete, and I need to pitch over this way some. Let's go on a little wonky to the north. Okay. Back on the south. Let's pitch down. Looks like we got a thunderstorm going on. Trying to get to 60 by 10K. A little squirrely here, it's okay. We'll do 45 by 45, 20K behind the curve here. Let's see where we're at. We're at 40K, so I need to be way down here. I'm already over a minute. Put that down. We're good. We've got tons and tons and tons of, we'll definitely get this payload into orbit without using any of its fuel. Well, if I'm really close, within 100, I'll steal 100 out of you. Okay, at 50K, I want to be kind of just about 5-10 degrees off the horizon. Pitching down now. And now what we're doing is we're just pushing our, we don't want to push our avs. We want to push it up, but not so fast. What we're really trying to do is get this orbital velocity up and extend our orbit on the sides, and not so quickly to the top. When this hits 80, right, I want to be about a minute away. You can see I'm getting closer, right? 33, 30, blah, blah. If I pitch up a little, that'll push away. Right, and it'll start getting farther away from me. It should. If not, combination of pitching up and adding a little throttle. Right. Start to push this away from me again. When it gets to about 50 seconds away, I'll reduce my throttle and lower my pitch. There, come back down to here, and pitch back to there. When it starts closing in again, I can always increase my thrust, decrease my thrust. And it's when it gets to 80 kilometers, I'll stop burning. When I get to 80 kilometers, this will be close to 2,300 meters per second. So 8, 7, 9, 8, cut the throttle. Okay. Tons of delta V left in here. So I can actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a maneuver node right here, and I'm going to when the AP and P switch sides like that, that means you're pretty close to circular. 79 by 80, so that's fine. Okay. And what's important is that's going to take 213 delta V. So what I'm going to do is use some of that because I don't want to use 200 out of my out of this upper stage. I want to get it to about 50. So I'm going to burn until I'm right about here. And then I'm going to decouple and use get the last bit from this engine right here. So to do that, let's turn to the maneuver node, which is somewhere. Oh, I see it. It's right there. Hurry, I'm 20 seconds away from where I need to burn, so let's get it over there quickly. Okay, 10 seconds. It's pretty much prograde, and I now have prograde and retrograde because he's a 1-star guy. So, oh, what's it doing? What's it doing? Something didn't go right here. It changed on me all of a sudden. So I'm prograde. Okay, I can salvage this. I'm just gonna burn. It's kind of messy, but and I kept this guy all the way, so now I got space junk. So, what? Okay, apparently I didn't put a revert flight. Apparently I didn't put a decoupler and an engine on the upper stage. Did I do that? Could I be that dumb? Okay, I see a stage here, but I don't see an engine. Lovely, Ricky. All right, good job. Let's put an engine on. How's that? And a decoupler. Which means we have to recompute our delta V again. Something's cockamamie here, and it is. Is that on straight now? Yes, but it isn't on straight from the decoupler. Okay, so fix everybody up here. Snapping. I want the coupler to be right about there. And I want the booster to be right about there. Pretty close. Now, got the main engine and those boosters, and they're going to get me at full thrust. I'm going to get that. And they're going to get me to only 1,600 and whatever. Then these guys are going to kick in, get me another 13. So that's 3,000. That's 3,000, and this is all in vacuum, so this needs to be more like an atmosphere. So this is still a little low, and we want to get rid of these boosters, which is these guys right here when those kick in. And we want something's not right. Got some extra engines here. Something tain't right. What in the world have I got going on here? It's an extra engine. This guy fires, and I want that guy to fire. These guys are going to come off just before these guys kick in. Then I got an extra thing going on here. I got a couple. Then okay, these go off. Then this decouples. This is to get us back home. And then this is our parachute should be that one. So I don't need. Oh, wait a second. What's going on here? I don't need this one. Is what's going on. Okay. So we're going to ditch all of this. We're going to take the science out of this, which I'm sure we're going to forget to do before we jettison it. I had a situation a long time ago. I had Kerbals in a lander can module, and I forgot to transfer them. And I decoupled and ditched the landing couple with 2 Kerbals still in it. It was fun. They gave their lives. But they're vegetables, and so they regrow. 820 something hundred and a dingus. So we definitely got enough to get to orbit now. Got the velocity off the pad. Okay, save this and. Oh God! Finally, puppy ate. Now she's relaxing. She was going nuts before. Okay, lights. SAS. Z. V. 3, 2, 1. Launch. Throttle back. Throttle back some more. As long as I'm going up, that's all that matters. I don't want to burn up all my core fuel. Roll program. Roll program complete. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why am I going to the north? South and down. Okay. Shooting for 60 at 10K. However, we are at the mercy of the boosters. Gonna make it. Take even more throttle out. All the throttle out. Okay, we want to be at 45 at 20K. About to lose the booster, so we'll come back up on the throttle a little bit. Boosters, go full throttle. Pitch us way down. I know we're real high right now. In fact, you're at 50. We should be all the way down to, this is what's called the crowbar turn. Very bad orbit. It's kind of a bare bones ship to get to minmus, so it's, and we got tons of delta V, so even though this is not an efficient way to get to orbit, it's going to get us there. Time is already over a minute, so I'm going to come way back down on the thrust. Yeah, see, we're already at 60. If I want to give myself time to actually get my velocity up, I can pitch below the horizon. That won't hurt anything. It'll just allow me to... But of course that makes me race towards the flaps faster, so I can't really do that. Just gonna point to the right, to the prograde vector. Distance to the time to apoapsis going up. Okay, dial back some. Okay. I'm getting up above 2,000 meters per second here. Way back, throttle way back. 70 kilometers. Going to minmus here, so we're just going to get an 80-kilometer starting orbit. And 80. Call it there. 22, so it's not going to take much delta V to circularize here, so rather than carry this boost stage into orbit, I'm going to couple it here. Create a minimum node here and complete this orbit, which shouldn't take much delta V. Right there. 91 delta V, that's okay. Okay, and let's see. Turn to the maneuver node right there. Warp to the burn. And warp to 10 seconds away. There we go, 9 seconds to the burn. Looks like I drifted off the maneuver node a little bit, which is right on prograde. 1, 0, and okay. Let's see where that goes. It's like 78 by 80. That's fine. Now, to get to minmus. The only issue with minmus is you can either launch into it, if you notice, if I get on edge here, like so. Not like that. If I can stop. So here's the plane of Kerbin and the moon. And here's the plane of Kerbin and minmus. It's at a 6-degree inclination. So you can either launch directly into that inclination, or you can just launch. And just like the moon, you want to lead it by about 45 degrees. So you want your apoapsis to be out here. But then it's going to be above or below the moon. So you have to make a secondary burn on your way out to the moon, or out to minmus, to pull your AP down so it's in the same plane as its orbit. So it's a 2-step process. So what we'll do is we'll make this our target. And you can see here's the plane of nodes. That's where you can see the 6-degree inclination. If I click on it here, there should be an AN somewhere, or AN and DN. There it is. So negative 6.2 degree inclination. Okay, so we'll put that up at north, just like the moon. This is 3 o'clock. We're going to put a node here at 4 o'clock, and we're going to burn until our apoapsis goes out as high as minmus. So out, and sometimes you'll start to get close approach markers, sometimes you won't. like now? Oh, we do. We get some close approach markers here. So now when we're out there, I like to switch to this view because sometimes it's hard to see if you've actually gone out to minmus. It just happens that we're very close to being on the line of nodes at launch time, so we're not too far above minmus. So I can make another maneuver node right here. Just pull it down a little bit. All right, and I'll see if I get a. Do we get a? Looks like we are getting one. Pulling that down, I'm also. Ah, Ricky. Ah! A little sensitive, is it? There. Okay, that's good enough. So now if I focus minmus, I should see that I've got a maneuver node hitting it, which is actually pretty good on that second burn. Because I want to come in a polar orbit like we did on Moon, so we can get as much science as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that node somewhere. Where's it at? Here? Yeah. On that second burn, and I'm going to pull this purple handle and pull it down. And I'm going to pull the programming handle and pull it over. This needs to be below 30K, which it is. It's perfect. There we go. 2 burns. 1 burn for 920, and a second burn. Use this tool over here. And a second burn for what looks like only 7 to 8 meters per second. So for less than 930, we're getting all the way out to minmus, which is about what you'd expect. Now, if you don't have this tool, which is the nice maneuver node, it's difficult to do 2 burns without, because there's no way to switch between them. So you just have to do the first one and then test the second one to make sure that you're going to get an intercept, and then delete the second one and make the first burn, and then remake the second burn. So, okay, so now it's the same drill. I'm going to follow the blue arrow to the there's that. It's taking me somewhere. There it is, I see it. I got to change that color really badly because it's making me crazy. In fact, let me show you the mod I got to do that. If I can see it, actually. Oh, what do you know? I do not see it. It's not showing. Oh, it's telling me. Oh, I don't want to use any science, so we're going to save it for minmus. Okay, so I'm on the maneuver node, so I can just warp to it. One of the things with KSP2, some of the mods don't always show up. Ay. 5 seconds to burn. Becomes nice when you actually get all your controls, then it's just a matter of pressing C and X. I hate having to work to fly. Zoom out here. You can see I'm well short of where I need to be. So, just gonna get on the prograde here. Just gonna get on the prograde, and I'm just gonna burn that out manually. Gets real sensitive as you get closer and closer. Okay, close enough. So now I can kill this node. And I've got this 7.5 meter per second node, and that's gonna, where's it actually gonna put me? Okay, so if I pull back, okay. So I'm gonna go retrograde until I'm over the top of minmus. That. And I want to be below 30, so just a little slight tug on this purple hand. Not that much of a tug. Perfect. Okay, so now I'll turn to that node. Top of that. Work to there. This is only a 0.4 second burn, so it's going to be very light touch. In fact, if I go up to here, let's limit this. Now at least it's a 1 second burn. One burn. Okay. There we are. 23. Kind of over the. And I can do a temperature scan because I can reset it. Here. Do an EVA. Grab the temperature scan. Take the data. Is there no pressure down here? Really? Oh, I can't do it while he's outside the ship. I just remembered that. But like, maybe is there an EVA I can do it? No EVA. Might as well take the oh, no data to take. Board. Any crew report data? No crew report data. Okay, I don't want to waste material study. We can do an atmospheric pressure scan. Grab that. EVA and take it. Take that data, and I did take the temperature data, so I can take another one, so board. So we can do those on the way out. Why not? And we'll save the goo and the mystery until we're here. We'll do a goo and a mystery high, and then we'll do a goo low. Okay, so let's work to here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep track of the biomes that I gather science over. I got a little one I did for the moon. We'll do one down here for minmus. Make sure I get all of the biomes. Oh, that's why things were weird. I Okay, so let's do these things. Let's do an EVA, high over minmus. EVA report, high over minmus. Grab that. And we'll board again. Do an atmospheric pressure scan, high over minmus. We'll do a temperature scan, high over minmus. We'll do a goo observation. We'll do a crew report. Why not? Have a crew report over there. We'll grab, we'll use up our material study sign. We'll have another one available eventually. So we'll do that. And we'll use up one of our goos. Okay, so now we can EVA and take all that stuff. Take the crew report out of the capsule so that we can do another crew report. Collect the data from there. Take the data from here. Take the data from here. I noticed I actually put 2 sets of these on. Well, oops. I keep track of that. And then I want to take the data from here. Collect the data from here. There we go. And since he's a pilot, I can't reset the goo or the material base, so that's all for the high goo. I still have this goo. So, all right. So board. That's quite a bit of science. Now, what we want to do is I want to get this a little bit more over polar here. So let's see what happens. Let's put a maneuver node. Put it far back here. Put it here. We got a maneuver node. And let's see if we pull progress. That's what we want. Right, that put us where we want, but now we're too high. So let's end. Over a little more this way. That's below 30. That's fine. It's a little 5 meter per second burn over there. God, I hate when it turns SAS off because you've gone EVA. Yeah, definitely got to do something with that blue. I can't see the blue to save my butt. It's when the emissive reflection gets on it, it's the only time I can see it. Okay, let's work to it. $50 seconds. Let's get to within 10 seconds of the burn. Sorry if I'm mumbling. Oh shoot, did I ever come out of... Oh my god. Let me see here. Where's OBS? Something. Oh, thank God. I thought I might have forgotten to turn off the away screen. 4 seconds. Close enough. Close enough. Now we just get into circular orbit here. And we'll have plenty of delta V to circularize and get back to Kerbin, so that's perfect. Have an maneuver node, and we'll burn retrograde here. Zook. We want both sides to be below 30 kilometers, so go until they start to swap sides. Right there. There's 18 and there's 19. That's fine. Okay. You know the drill. Go to the maneuver node. Warp to the maneuver node. That's gonna, as soon as I get low over Kerbin or over minmus, it's gonna pop up a whole bunch of science and stuff, but I'm not gonna go crazy right now. Might do the crew report and the atmospheric study and the temperature scan, and oh well, why not? I'll do the the remaining goo pod, and an EVA report. Take the EVA report and get back in the ship. Yeah, I'm still 28 seconds away from the burn. But I'm not on the... I'm no longer on the maneuver node. Oh, because it took me out of SAS when I EVA'd. 10 seconds to the burn, and we're all back set up, right? 5 seconds. And you can see we're pulling that trajectory around minmus. There's the capture. 434, we'll do the last little bit manually. Okay, there we go. 19 and 19. It's telling me I'm going to do an F5 here because sometimes when you do an EVA report, your ship blows up. Quite liked that. So, okay. Let's see, where am I over? Let's take an EVA report. Let's take, I'm over the Midlands. Save it. And I'm going to take all the data from the ship so I can do another crew report. Board the ship. Okay, now I'm going to open up my little record here. Shoot, was that Midlands? I hope it was. Midlands. Dink. Now what I can do is just warp to, let's make sure that was Midlands. Let's review. A crew report. Yeah, I can take a crew report. That's good. Review. So I have a crew report. Review. I have a crew report just above Midlands. Okay, so that's the first biome I got is Midlands. So now I just do this to close all these out. Okay. Oh. I don't need that pinned. Let's get this temperature data that we did. So I might as well do an EVA now. Take that data and take that data. Might as well take the last crew report out and then reboard. So now I got a free, it's okay. Okay, now I've got an open crew report I can do again if I want. I can close these doors. And I can... Oh, I never took the data out of those. Oh, that's bad. Okay, let's EVA again. Make sure we get the data out of all of this stuff. Collect the data. Okay, I've already collected the data. I've already collected the data. Okay. Because we're ditching this. That's going to go. So if I left the data in there, that would be just data lost. These, we've already collected the data, so if they blow up on re-entry, that's okay. I've already got the data in the capsule. So now, let's just warp time. And whenever we get to a biome with some data, pop out. We'll EVA report. Now I'm over the lowlands. Like that. Come over to our little report here. Add lowlands. Lowlands. Go. So how many biomes does minmus have? Let's see. On my other screen, I'm pulling that info up. Biomes. Okay, I'm pulling that data up. Let's take a look at it. Okay, trying to get a picture of it here. It's a terrible picture. But it'll do. Let's unpin that, bring it over. So, let's see it. So it's got what looks like 9 biomes. We've already collected 2 of them. We've collected Midlands and Lowlands. Midlands and Lowlands. We got these 2, so we have these 7 remaining. Close this. Let's get back in the ship, shall we? Let's do another save just to be safe. Cursor over the dark side in this. Warp until we get to another biome. I have a mod called Science Alert, which automatically tells me when I'm over someplace I can collect science, because I'm not going to sit here and pop out of the cabin 85 billion times to find out if I'm over a biome, because the game was too stupid to put in some indicator of what biome you're over. So get out. Can't wait too long. I'm going to wait past by the biome. I can just click this again. And now I'm over the Highlands, so we'll grab that. Board. And it's off screen, but trust me, I'm just typing Highlands over here on the list. So there's 6 left. We'll warp again till we get to the next biome. Next biome. This is the slopes. So we'll grab it, come over here, grab the slopes. Okay, board. And warp. See, by being in a polar orbit, we'll pass over every possible biome eventually. This is what mapping satellites do. Okay. Okay. And EVA. EVA report from Great Flats. So I'll take that, come over here and type Great Flats. So we now have 6. There's 3 remaining. What? I'm going to hit that 5 here because I just about hit the space bar there. Not that bad. Hit the dark side again? Yeah, on the dark side again. Coming into the light. I got everything covering my OBS, so if anybody's talking to me, I haven't been hearing you. Oh, no, nobody's talking, so cool. I need to get 4 people talking in chat here so I can get the next thing and whatever this affiliate would do for freaking is. So talk in chat. Please. Now over the flats. So I'll take that. Come back over to my little cheat sheet here. Take flats. back over here. Board. Warp. Two more. At 7, need 2 more. Quick save. Like I said, I've had instances where you try to pop out of the ship and you haven't quite stopped warping yet, and your ship blows up. Or worse yet, the ship disappears and the pilot's still sitting just in space with no more ship. Oh, another bio. Crater Flats. Take that. Board. Crater Flats. I had to take a double take because there's a Great Flats, and I'm like, whoa, didn't I just do that? So that should be, if I can do math, that's 8. There's one more lingering out here somewhere. So we'll warp. EVA report. Lesser Flats. Boom. That's everybody. Board. Ship. Lesser Flats. Okay, that's 9. So we've got all the biomes. That should bring us quite a bit of science. So M, and then with that science, we should now be ready to be able to get back, get to landing things. Now, I'm zooming way out here because one of the bad things about being in a polar orbit, and we just happen to look out, is to return from a moon, we want to, the moon, minmus is moving this direction, left to right. We want to exit minmus in the opposite direction so we fall back in towards Kerbin. So we would have to wait for this orbit to align with its orbital path, which it fortunately has already done for us. So I'll put a maneuver node here, and I'll burn outward till I get that, and then I'll take this whole thing and I'll grab it and I'll move it till it's sort of like that, right? And then we'll come back out and we should see a periapsis for Kerbin. I'll pin it. So right now I'm burning 61 delta V. If I continue to burn, you'll see that, right? And I'll start to pitch, so then I have to grab this whole thing and bring it back down again so that we're flat. Right, now I'm up to 80. I know I'm going to get up to close to 200, so I have to just keep doing this. Ooh. Whoops. Did I actually go inside a Kerbin? I sure might have. Or I got a moon intercept. Yeah, that's what I got, was a moon intercept. That's okay. I'll just keep burning past that. There we go. And once again, I got to bring this back down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it actually past, because I know it's going to want to pitch up the more I burn. So, and if I can make this easier by coming out here, and I can double click to focus on Kerbin and the periapsis here that I'm fiddling with. Come back out here to this guy. Now I gotta be able to pick this again. There we go. And what was I doing? I was burning out. Yes, bringing that in. See, now it's gonna have to have a little adjustment there, but I'll just keep burning this in until I get this to 35 kilometers, and that will deorbit me via atmospheric braking. Go 100. A little too low. Whoop. What's going on here? That should make it go up. Why is that make? No, it's going up. It's going up. Having a brain fart. Okay, well, but no, can't leave good enough alone, can you, Rick? We'll get there. You bugger. Okay, let's just do it in little short tugs then. You're making me mad, Kerbal. You're making me mad. Don't make me mad. You wouldn't like me when I'm mad. There we go. 35. I win. You lose. But I gotta change this. I don't want to be coming in at that wacky ass. So now I gotta come back and focus on minmus somehow. I could actually just hit the tick mark and come back and focus on my ship. And then let's see if we can fix this by grabbing it some way. There we go. Bunga. Come on, don't fight me. Oh, please. Oh, there we got it. We got it. Don't move. Don't breathe. Stop. Oh, breathe. Now what happened to our PE? Probably got pushed inside. It sure did. Yeah, it got pulled inside. So now we got to come out and tug the retrograde handle a little bit more. Oh, please don't. Stop. Stop. Whatever you're doing, stop. Stop. Stop warping. God dog it. Jesus Christ, and I opened like 15 different things up and I... God. Okay, stay calm. Stay calm. Keep cool. Oh boy, change the pitch and everything again. Can I use the periapsis down here? I don't think I can. Let's see, what do I want to do? I want to push it out. Okay, I gotta somehow zoom in on Kerbin again without warping all over the friggin' place. Nope. Nope! Focus on Kerbin! God, they need to fix this. It's a critical thing that you need to do. Imagine now if I had 50 things flying around Kerbin, and you're trying to click on Kerbin, and oh, I'll warp you to that thing now. Oh, thank you. Now you just screwed my whole game. See, now I got to get to the maneuver node open again, out here, and I can't see all the way out here. Stay calm. Okay, back to Kerbin. And I know this is going to be retrograde to put this back out. You know what? That's good enough. I can fix it. It's going to be a tiny, teeny burn. I'm only burning 159, and I've got 878, and I'm sitting here trying to fly shit out of pepper. Okay, let's just do it. Let's get over to the maneuver node. Turn SAS back on. Okay, warp to the node. Coming home from Kerbin with lots of science. Delete this and close it. Okay, warp us down to 10 seconds. Okay, make sure I'm on the node. It's close to it. And burn. Now I'm going to be falling in from minmus at about 3,200 meters per second, so you definitely want a heat shield. And anything sticking out from your ship has a very high probability it's going to blow up. Okay, just manually for the rest. Okay, let's close it. Let's just see where we got. 47, so we need to be a little bit more. We want 35, that's good. There we go. Okay, 35, we're going to be coming into a slight angle. That's okay, I'm not going to worry about it. I can hit the tilde key to come back to my ship. I can warp up to here. Bye, Moon. Hasta luego. Warp here. Faster. Warp here. Faster. Thank you. Okay. I hope you can hear my mic. I have to turn my head away. I have to turn my head kind of away from the mic so the mic's off to my side of my mouth. So I hope, because I notice when I turn this way, it sounds much better than when I look at my screen. Let's warp by clicking on that. And I am going to fix this inclination because it bugs me. So I'm going to warp until I get onto the path home. Okay, and to fix this, I'm just going to turn normal to my path of motion. It's anti-normal, the purple triangle with the ticks. This is normal. Okay. And as I burn, you'll see this will start to come. See? Okay, and that may have changed my periapsis, but I can see that here now. Although that's weird, it's telling me my periapsis is at 51. Did it go up that high? Let's go over here. Let's focus Kerbin again so I can see my PE. Yeah, it did go up. So I'm going to turn retrograde. Do some slight changes here to get us going back to 35. There we go, 35. That'll deorbit us. Okay. Save it. 5 for safety. Warp to here. Brain of God. And there we have it. Built a ship that can make it to minmus, orbit minmus, gather all the science around minmus, and we'll see how much science we got, and we'll use that science finally to build something that can actually land. Maybe put some satellite networks up. I'll do those. I think I'm going to do them as individual streams. Probably call it after we recover here. So let's go back out here. Let's turn normal or anti-normal. Doesn't really matter. I want to get rid of this service stage without running into it, and I don't want to change my trajectory, so the best way to do that is decouple normal like that, and then turn retrograde and hope that you've got all the science out of that. Whoops, why is it not letting me? Oh boy, I just jettisoned this with no electric charge, and I'm 90 degrees. If it tips me nose first, I'm gonna be boned. There's no way I can change it now. So now we really are praying to God. Commander Glenn, you may have a problem with your spaceship. Hopefully. Oh, you know what I can do? I can fix this. Save. Let go. RCS. Push the ship so it's facing backwards. Oh, but don't lose the ship. Don't lose the ship. Lord. Yeah. That might not have been the smartest move, because now it is rolling of the dice. If I'm facing backwards when I hit the interface, which is coming up right now, it won't. There's not enough atmosphere until I'm below 50 kilometers to start turning me into the slipstream. Although it looks like it is gonna do it. Ooh, okay, I got lucky. Lucked out. At 60 kilometers, the atmospheric pressure is 0.0003 kilopascals, so it's effectively vacuum at 60 kilometers. Okay, there's our heat shield starting to take a blate. There's our service stage. Will eventually burn up. Okay, we got some stuff on the side. Sometimes if you rotate, I can't rotate because I have no power, so these things on the sides might blow up, but it's okay. I've gotten all the science out of them. 3,000 meters per second. Lots of ablator. I could take half the ablator. The ablator's kind of OP in default. There we go. There's one DuPont gone, but I've taken all the data out of it. The other one's going to go very shortly. There it goes. It's okay. It's all okay. 2,600 meters per second. We're looking for 1,100. That's when the... I'm going to save my little cheat sheet here. Save, and I can close that and get it out of the way. Oh, I'm amazed my mic has worked this whole time. Usually it cuts out, I don't notice it, and then I stream for 40 minutes with no mic. Although I probably yammer more than I should. Deploy by altitude. Want to deploy at 3,000 feet. Close it so I can now arm this. Once again, F5 because I have to redo it. 1,300, we're coming out of the plasma blackout. Pardon me. There we go. You see the atmosphere stopping off. And we're out of the plasma blackout. Science in here anywhere? Oops, doesn't have science. What can I get? EVA. Yeah, no, I don't want it. I don't think I want to try that. Ah, the temperature's good. Group work's good. Atmosphere is good. Yep. Okay, a little more science, never hurts. And once again, I'll pop the chute at about, well, I set it to automatically deploy, so at 3,000 meters it should automatically come out. That's 10,000 feet roughly. coming up on 3,000. There it is, it popped. Shoots out. And we're coming in, looks like, fortunately, over grasslands, which is a little more science we can get, actually. See? Gotta be about under 7 meters per second to be a safe landing. What's that? What are you? I don't know. Oh. Bushes, I guess. Down. Okay. EVA report. Is grasslands. Okay. Take all the data so I can do another crew report. Crew report. Atmospheric. Temperature. There we go. Let's recover. Let's see what we got. Drum roll, please. Here are the tweeting birds. And we get back in. Look at that. 703 meaty science. Gotta love meaty science. Let's get these guys. That's a little more money back in the bank. There we go. And we have 600,000 Kerbucks. So we're getting to where we can start getting to the point where we can really start expanding our base. So we're going to do some things like cancel. Do this guy. It's only 75K, so we'll upgrade him twice. That's fully upgraded. Nope, not quite fully upgraded yet. No, it is. Should have probably done him. Yeah, I don't want to take us down. Yeah, till got quarter of a mile. So we got a runway upgraded all the way. Next, we'll start upgrading the hangars. Get this guy to level 3. You know, I shouldn't have done that. I just realized that. I need 451, and I have to do this to unlock surface samples and also to get to the next tier science. I might have just borked myself here. Oh well. This is an example of what not to do. Get all giddy and spend all your money. 700. Let's get the mainsail. Should be in here somewhere. There's the Bobcat. And there's that's only the skipper. I thought I already had the skipper. Well, we definitely want that. We got that. What do we got in this column here? This is thermal things for add-on parts that I didn't take out before I started the run. A small stack separator. Small adapters. Docking port junior. That's probably a good thing to have. All kinds of ladders and stuff. Yeah, why not? It's only 90. We're going to take that because it unlocks these guys, which is landing. I need landing legs. I want the reaction control wheel. What am I down to? 200. Feel like I'm on Monty Hall. What does this get me? This gets me small tanks, small engines for probe cores. Before we do that, let's check some of these other bits out here. The extended radial decoupler, that's worth grabbing. $208. And we're down to like 2 things in this column. See, and I can't get anything in this column now until I upgrade the, so I really did sort of shoot myself in the foot, but I can get advances, and I can also get some, we'll get quite a bit of more science when we go and start landing on minmus. So I can salvage this. I'm gonna save the cache. Don't need to build any kind of an airplane, but it's 45, so might as well. And I think I'm going to save the rest, or put the rest on account. Come out here. Oh, how dumb I was. I had enough to upgrade this, and I blew it on a runway, of all things. I don't like airplanes to begin with. I wish they had a way that you could undo spending things if you make a mistake like I just did, because that could be serious. Another rescue, but around minmus. That's good. 2 rescues around minmus. Oh, I've maxed out what I can do. Let's see if there's something quick I can do before we call it a day. How much time have I been streaming? It's going on 3 hours. I think I'm going to call this a stream, and we'll pick this up again later. I could do these things. Oh, I can't explore them. I can't do any of these until I finish these ones I got active right here. How much time? I got 9 years to finish that one. 400 days to finish that one. 4 years, 400 days. Never expires. 12 years, 364 days. Okay, so in the next stream we'll get rid of some of these contracts that'll get us some money, get us closer to being able to upgrade the research center. So for everybody that's managed to hang out till now, thanks a lot for sticking with me, and until the next time, stay cool.